This program on investing under regulation crowdfunding is not investment advice.
Rising with the crowd, power unbound, change makers lead where hope is found. Superpowers for good, shaping the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercross stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
My guest today is an amazing woman who, when she was younger in her life, went through a period of time when she had to navigate some of the federal support benefits to get through life. Her first child was born and early in her career before she had a good income. And that experience has framed her whole career, where she's now developed a company to help other people navigate the bureaucracy that stands between them and benefits that can make a life-saving difference in their lives. Stick around. You don't want to miss this. Great discussion. Now, welcome to the Super Crowd Presents Superpowers for Good. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and today my guest is Lisa Marino, the CEO and founder of Dopple. And she is an amazing human being. You are not going to want to miss this episode. Lisa, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you for having me. And this is George. Don't want to leave him out.
That's right, George. We're thrilled to have you too. Lisa, I wonder if you would just take us back in time to that experience you had as you were wrapping up your MBA at Stanford. What happened then, and how has that framed your life and your work?
So this was definitely 2002 was the busiest year of my life. I was finishing business school. I was planning a wedding. I had just started my first company, and I found out I was pregnant. So my Stanford insurance was expiring in August, and my daughter was due the next month. And this was again in the middle of the dot-com boom, the dot-com implosion. And so we were living off of student loans and meager savings and had no choice, because we had a pre-existing condition, but to go on welfare and food stamps. And we needed to understand and navigate a very complex system of government funding, state funding, philanthropic dollars, and then just organizing our friends and family. And so what Dopple became is we built for others what we did for ourselves to get our own family through. And it's so complex. John Oliver actually, on his latest episode, had a stat that was pretty staggering. 40% of the families eligible for SNAP are just so overwhelmed by the application process that many of them just drop out, right? Whether it takes too long, whether they don't understand it, it doesn't matter. It is a huge point of friction that prevents families from getting the access that they need and deserve. And so when you think about families, 2/3 are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's they're falling further behind every month. And then the flip side is you've got billions of dollars of government and philanthropic and friends and family money that is going unused. And what the platform does is we're the rails. We connect the families to the funding that's available to them in a really simple way.
It's so vitally important, and I think it's becoming more important. The federal government these days is shifting a focus toward stricter requirements. I hate to call it this, but they would never admit greater bureaucracy, but that seems to be right. More paperwork, more qualifications to get some of the traditional benefits as well as some other cuts. So getting the help you need probably hasn't been this difficult in nearly 100 years in our country. It's really a scary time to need this help. So tell us a little bit more about how this works. What are the mechanics?
So family comes in and we ask them to create a 12-month budget, because that, I don't care if you're having a baby, I don't care if you've got a 3-year-old, it doesn't matter where you are in your life cycle, but it forces families to think beyond just a basic registry and about what do I really need to fund over the next year. And what happens at that point is, once they've built their budget, we collect a variety of information as well to help pre-qualify them for a variety of different programs and options. Once they've gone through that program, they actually build a registry, but it's comprehensive, right? It includes childcare. If you are pregnant, maybe you want a doula. If you care, if you've got a 3-year-old, you need diapers, you might need formula. You might really care about college savings accounts. It doesn't matter what it is, the service, the product, or the recurring purchase. We can handle all of it in our registry platform. And then the AI engine looks at what you've added and the different funding options available, and then matches the family with those options. And so it basically gives the family a gap analysis, for lack of a better term, that says, okay, we think you're eligible for this much from, Head Start for childcare. We think Dopple Community Gifting, which is our philanthropic arm, is going to pay for diapers and formula. So that's $3,000. There's maybe 6 or 8,000 from Head Start. And we've taken this budget that maybe started at $25,000 and we start whacking away at it. And so, your friends and family are probably good for $1,000 to $1,500, even if you are middle or lower income, if you message and manage things properly. And now you've just shifted, 20 plus $1,000 from being out of pocket to the family to the village that wants to support them. And that's where we really add the value.
It really is just a priceless service. And, the exciting thing I see right now is that you are raising money on Wefunder so that everyone can invest in making this happen. Because, my gosh, this is just, like I say, never been more important, maybe well, at least in nearly 100 years. And of course, it would have been impossible the last time we needed it this badly. So, uh, tell us a little bit about why you decided to go to the crowd for raising money, along with the other investors that you've raised money from.
So there's 3 main reasons. First of all, I grew up a tech bro, for lack of a better term. Professionally, I've been in technology since I was 23 years old. And I have made my money from being early at companies, whether I was an employee, whether I was an early investor, whether I was an advisor. And that world has been shut off to everyday families for so long. But it's such a cornerstone for how wealth has been accumulated for people in this country. And so the main reason why we're going out on the crowdfunding platform is largely, I believe, in being egalitarian. And if we're trying to help families fund the basics, we need to walk the walk, right? I ultimately am running a large crowdfunding platform myself. So I should be looking at those sources to help raise our own money. But it also has the benefit of potentially profoundly impacting the life of an investor. If we do well, they're going to do well. Nothing would make me feel prouder or more honored than if I could help somebody who put in, $1,000 into Doppel and maybe they got a down payment on their house. Like, that's why I do this. And if we can perform and realize our potential, I think that's possible. I'm so incredibly bullish on bringing wealth to the everyday family, because that's how we get out. That's like the 4th leg of the stool for how Doppel helps families fund themselves.
It really is a wonderful thing. I'm such a fan, and of course, all of my followers and regular viewers recognize that that's really the case, that I love talking about these opportunities to invest in change-making entrepreneurs like you who make such a difference because we get to make money while we're doing good. Um, as you think about your business, let's talk about the business for a minute.
Sure.
What is the revenue model? How do you grow this business and make it profitable over time so that you can create that value that you were talking about?
Well, so Dopple today, I acquired the company in August of 2023, and the platform I acquired was a kids subscription clothing business. I was also already building a baby registry, so this was in the works. And when I looked at A plus B, it was not a C, it was like a Z, right? The opportunity was tremendous in terms of how to change the way families think of funding themselves. So today, we do, most of our margin comes from kids' clothes, diapers, and formula. Classic recurring purchases that families need. Now, when we start overlaying, and the margins on those are great, we get roughly 30% gross margins after shipping and the warehouse on things like clothing, diapers, and formula. Now we can overlay on classic advertising executions. So think affiliate programs. Let's say somebody adds a stroller to their wish list or their registry, and it gets fully funded by the village somehow. We then just go and buy it from either the manufacturer or from a third party site, and we end up getting affiliate revenue. So that's just margin to the bottom line. It's not a ton of money, it's 3 to 5%, but when you start adding it up, it matters. And the last piece is on the funder side. So we do, because we fractionalize all gifting, we do take a percentage from philanthropic organizations as well as community gifters and friends and family gifters. That is roughly 5 to 7% of the transaction value. So there's 3 different ways we make money. It's all tied to the transaction. The family never pays unless they actually purchase something from us directly.
It's a great model. In some ways, it's like GoFundMe, which I think has a $1 billion plus valuation now. But the market opportunity
It's huge.
for your business is almost unlimited, right? There are tens of millions of people eligible for benefits that you would connect them to. Most families go through a time when they need this kind of help.
Yep.
So, like you did.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a huge, huge market. Well, I apologize. We got to take a quick break. Folks, I'm here today with Lisa Marino. She's the CEO of Dopple, a company that is making a tremendous difference for families, helping them access all of the resources they need, from money from friends and family to the federal benefits that they're eligible for, but so difficult sometimes to access. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to shift gears and talk to Lisa about her superpower. Stick around. You don't want to miss this.
This program on investing under regulation.
Download a free copy of How to Make Money with Impact Crowdfunding, the book Sarah Hanks describes as
a fantastic overview, not just of crowdfunding investing, but of investing in general.
Andrew Savickas raved,
"This book offers unparalleled insights for anyone looking to make a difference."
Scan the QR code to get your copy. Supercrowd 25, where innovation meets impact.
18 hours of live content, 5 platforms, 1 global audience.
Join the largest event for regulated investment crowdfunding. Live pitches, expert panels, real change.
August 21st and 22nd.
Scan the code or visit thesupercrowd25.com to register free today.
Struggling to raise capital for your business? Unlock the power of the crowd with AI. My free guide, Crowdfunding Made Simple, walks you through every step to success. Get funded smarter, faster. Scan the QR code now for your free download.
Welcome back. Folks, I am just so thoroughly enjoying my conversation today with Lisa Marino. She's the CEO of Dopple, a company that connects people in difficult situations with resources. But we're going to shift gears now to talk to her about her superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this. Lisa, uh, you are an impressive, successful entrepreneur, leader. You described yourself as a tech bro. I love that. You're a big deal. You're
It
a
is
big
what
deal.
it is.
And I'm grateful that you would make time just to be on the show with us. We're thrilled to have you. Now, what is your superpower?
So my superpower, I would say, is just refusing to give up, right? When we were going through our own Doppel experience as a family, it was easy to throw in the towel. The hard part was sitting down and figuring it out. It took 2 Stanford MBAs to unpack all this stuff and like navigate the system. And so, and building a company is the same way, right? Like, Doppel started a little under 2 years ago, and we have such a big vision. And just going step by step, and closing on some funding with New Jersey, and figuring out how to navigate their infrastructure so that we can access doulas and birth partners and bring on families at scale at a very cost effective way, like the whole, and figuring out a funding strategy and a business model, like every day. It's it's a lot. I Maybe I'm going to be a little bit blunt, but you said be honest, so I'm going out there. So I've raised my kids to be very self-sufficient. And one of the things I've said to them their entire lives is, "Hey, look, every morning you wake up and there's a steaming pile of S on your desk. Doesn't matter where it came from. Maybe it came from you guys, maybe it came from the dog, could it come from work? Could have come from, I don't know, a bill hitting that we weren't expecting, can come from anywhere." And, people who put on the big kid pants, clean it up. And if you have 10% of your day that was engaging, or you learned something new, or it challenged you to be better, you killed it that day. And that is what life is. That's what starting a company is. That's what investing is. All of it is about the patience of the grind to some degree.
Yeah, that is really, I think, a profound lesson. And I appreciate you sharing that, especially as someone with your depth and insights. I wonder, as you think about that, if you could share a particular anecdote where you really applied that principle that would illustrate it for us so that we say, oh, yeah, I get that now more clearly. What's a story you could share?
Oh God, there's there's a lot of them. Um, Let me start with it's a work related one, but I think this gives an indication of my level of tenacity and stick to itiveness. So I was at RockU for 10 years, and I was not the founder. I was a hired CEO. I had been working there for about 2 years and was the number two at the time of me getting promoted. And RockU had been backed by unbelievable investors. So I inherited a $400 million preference on top of the company, with investors such as SoftBank, Sequoia, Lightspeed, DCM, and Partech. And unwinding that in a world where revenue had basically fallen by 2/3 year over year, we ended up, getting the company profitable on 16 million of revenue, down from 40 million, and growing through acquisition at that point. But it took years to digest all of that and to bring the investors and the employees and everybody along so that we could have that success. And I think that's just a great example of what it means to just, you've got to be patient, you've got to be committed to the vision and the cause, and it's going to take a while, and it's not fun, right? Having conversations with investors that, like, with that they're expecting the first 400 million when the company's worth a very small fraction of that is not easy. And
Yeah.
putting that up is hard.
Yeah, I've been through that. When I was running my little investment banking firm, I sometimes had the opportunity to help in the restructurings,
Yep.
and those were awful conversations. And my clients often were eager to have me do that for them or with them. And
But the
yeah,
CEO has to be the one to do it. And, like, I'm
so
the
much
only
better.
woman in this entire room of dudes, right? And I was a first time CEO. I was 38 years old. I was so inexperienced.
Yeah,
No, everyone was like, do not take this role. And I was like, no, I'm going to go figure it out. Our team is awesome. We're committed. We're going to go get it done. And ultimately we did, but
yeah,
took a long time. It was hard.
yeah. I can only imagine. Now, listen, you are in a great position to give us some tips, some advice, some guidance. How can we be a little more like Lisa Marino in this way, in this particular way?
Well, I think we go back to I think it's around expectations, right? We go back to the 10% rule that I kind of live my life by. Well, there's a second rule as well, which is do it to yourself before it gets done to you, because at least you get to administer the medicine rather than it being administered for you. Those two rules have completely made it. Well, there's one more rule too, which is the pity party rule. Once every quarter, I am allowed to let it all go. If I need to crawl up in the fetal position for 24 hours and just cry my eyes out, if I need to eat 2 pints of ice cream, doesn't matter. I get to be as, pathetic as I want for 24 hours, let it all out. And then the next morning I wake up, you're back in the saddle, right? The combination of those three things get me through my life and get me through anything, because there's always a step forward. There's always a tomorrow. There's always the next right thing to do. And I think those are critical ways to look at the world.
Yeah, that really is helpful as you think about that approach. That guidance really helps us see how you can do this. Lisa, as we get toward the end of our time now, I want to invite you to take a minute or two here and tell people how they can connect with you. And I realize you're a busy CEO.
Sure.
So, it's probably not your direct phone number. It may not be your email, but tell people how they can connect, how maybe
Oh,
they can follow you on social media, and then walk people through how they can access that Wefunder campaign and participate in Doppel.
So, two things. One, emails are fine. I am big on emails. So my email is lisa@thedoppel.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm not a huge social media person anymore. I grew up on Facebook before, like, I was selling Facebook before Facebook was selling Facebook. So I've kind of been there, done that to a large degree. Anyway, love email, and LinkedIn is always a terrific way to get a hold of me. Um, and and in terms of researching Doppel more, I think we've got a great landing page on our site that talks about our mission and what we're doing. It's thedoppel.com/invest, or you can see us on Wefunder, similar information. We also do webinars and other programs to both talk to potential investors, but also to families to teach them about what's available and what's out there to them. And so we're launching in the next couple of weeks a series of webinars where people can actively participate in that as well.
Fantastic. This is such an exciting business. It's such an exciting opportunity for people to participate in a wonderful, growing business that has a deep impact on the people who use it. and at the same time have the potential to make some money. What a great opportunity. I want to really encourage everyone to visit. You can just hit s4g.biz/Dopple. That short link will get you right to the Wefunder page, s4g.biz/Dopple. And that will get you an opportunity to really learn what this is all about in a little more depth. Lisa's been generous. She shared some guidance. So take advantage of that and reach out if you have questions. If you're thinking about making a bigger investment, especially, reach out to her and set up a time. I'm sure she'll be thrilled to take that call. Now, Lisa, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. I want to wish you every success in the great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
All righty now.
Thanks for
Let's
having
do
me,
some
Kevin.
good. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.